Hello YouTubers, Reloading Bench back with you once again. This weekend's project and this beautiful weekend is going to be espresso related, and it's going to be what I'm going to call, and it seems to be a new term, a puck, as in P-U-C-K, rake. So when you distribute your grinds in here, sometimes they'll clump, especially with oily beans. And people have devised all these little devices, essentially a poker to go in and break up the clumps. And what a lot of people have done and put like sewing needles or acupuncture needles or whatever in a cork, and then, you know, think of that times 4 or 5. And then they're going in here and they're stirring and mixing the grinds up and hoping to get a better distribution of clumps or elimination of clumps. So, and I've seen these where they just roll around like that, or they're standing up and then somebody goes to reach it in their video and they poke themselves and whatnot. So I was thinking with some of the project wood, look at the grain there, that I would make one of these. But I would use these stainless needles, which, let's see, where's a light? You can see those have a point to them. So I was thinking of even clipping off the point, because it's not about a sharpness thing as much as it is about stirring. And apparently these are quite bendable. So it's not like a sewing needle where you bend it and it's bent. So my thought was to take these 5 needles, I will do all but one. All right, what was half a second for you was minutes for me, as my battery, what I thought was my battery, turned out to be my memory card full. So I had to do some cleaning. So I will take one of these out. And as you can see, the base is multiple times thicker than the actual wire. But yeah, that's got a point to it. So methinks I'm going to grind that off. I'm going to grind that point down to nothingness. And then I'm going to cut, and I'm going to do a square. So instead of a cork and just pushing this into the cork like that and then bouncing that around, I'm going to go a little fancier because I like the richness of the wood. I'm going to cut a square, so I'll probably trim this off and drill some holes, sink this in, and then that will be, and I don't know how long I'll make it, probably the equivalent of a cork, because this seems to be a comfortable size. So maybe cork size, but square. And then I don't know if I'm going to do some kind of base with maybe a piece of cork inside so that the device can sit vertical so it's not stabbing anybody. I don't know about that yet, so we'll see. But that's the plan. So I will not bore those few of you, those 2 of you who watch my coffee videos. And the next video will be the next segment, because this will be a one-shot video, will be this complete with maybe a base. Not sure yet. Don't know, but that's kind of the idea. So that's it for now.
Alright, apologies for the quality of the sound and my voice, and the fact you'll probably hear every pee-pop, because I'm about half an inch away from the only microphone that seems to work with my editing software. So yesterday, when I was doing the final presentation on the finished product, as you can see me holding up right now, the puck rake, I found out after I finished the video and I went to build this segment or attach this segment to the others and complete the video, I have a non-functioning DJ Osmo as it relates to audio. So what you're seeing now is I ground 18 grams of coffee, some medium roast, and the reason I'm poking my finger there is because I actually took a grinder to each one of the needles and took the sharpness off because I've heard too many people complain about their homemade puck rakes stabbing them. So I decided to make it a little less dangerous if I decide to go with that flow. And it has plenty of strength, and it actually does what it's supposed to do in terms of stirring the coffee around. You'll see me bending it here because I'm showing how resilient the needles are as opposed to something like a sewing machine needle. But I picked these up off Amazon and then decided to go ahead and make a base as well, simply because if I chose to lay this down, I don't remember why I'm playing with my glasses there, but if I chose to lay it down, I made it in a square slash rectangle shape so that it wouldn't roll around, depending on where I placed it and how I set it, whether I set it vertical, upright, or lay it down on its side. Again, the whole issue of other people making their own are the pins stabbing them. So I made this base, and originally I was going to put a cork, cut up cork up there that I'm showing you right now, and I found that it was just not porous enough. So I went with a packing material and reset that into the base so that if I do decide to have this standing vertical or whatever, so that the pins aren't in the way and it doesn't take up as much space. That works quite nicely, but love how it came out in terms of the rich wood and how it looks as compared and slash contrasted to my bottomless portafilter that has a wood handle. So with this, I'm going to go through my normal routine of I ground 18 grams, I pop them into the portafilter, shake it up, and the reason I do this funny dance with the shake is because if I don't, then I get one giant mountain of coffee grinds to one side, and you'll see in the lower left that there's a little bit of a hump, but if I don't do that, I get like a 2-inch hump of coffee, and it's a little more challenging to distribute. So I'm taking my homegrown card, and now I'm going in and declumping. And I found that medium roast doesn't have an issue with clump. It's usually the darker, oilier beans that clump for me, but you'll also notice that as I'm raking this, that it kind of fluffs the bean a little, which, you know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing in my journey along the espresso learning path, but at the end of the day, there are no clumps, and this is just one more tool to ensure that. And one of the reasons I made this was because one, it's a new tool segment, so you'll start to see them. I've seen some 3D printed stuff that looks like absolute garbage. And then there's other folks that are on the high end. I'll leave their names out. Companies that are making, I think they're charging like 30 bucks plus tax plus shipping and handling. So you're looking at $40+ for something that I think I paid $7 for the needles, and you know, an hour's worth of woodworking between sawing, cutting, and finishing, sanding and finishing with an oil. So came out great, and I think if memory serves, after I put this back in its stand, I'm saying something to the effect of time to now go enjoy a delicious espresso. So hopefully this sound wasn't too unbearable. My DJ Osmo is trashed on the audio based on what I can find online, so I am kind of SOL in that space. We'll see what happens.